Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pico Sanas. This is episode 408, season 17. Today's date is February 11th, 2025, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to talk about an unusual place in the 70s. It was called Zanadu, with a Z, not an X, and it's not the movie that starred Olivia Newton-John from 1980. So this was a restaurant. It was like a disco restaurant. And I'll talk about when it started. And according to a couple of articles, it does feature some food items. So I'll mention that. Also, I'll talk about something a little unusual. It's the Burger Chef Works Bar. I'll explain about Burger Chef, and I have a menu of that, and I'll explain the Works Bar, what that means. And it was during the 70s and early 1980s. But first, we're going to go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Lemon Twist Toy. If you grew up in the 70s, you would remember this wonderful toy that you had as a kid. So here's a commercial from the 1970s. And when I come back, I'll get on with the show. So sit back and relax, everyone, and just enjoy going back to the 70s. Thank you.
Twist is a toy to twirl, to jump and skip as the lemon twist whirls. Put the loop on your ankle, throw the lemon twist around with a hop and a jump as it clears the ground. It's a toy for one or a toy for two. Or with lemon twist, you can see who jumps the most before they miss. You can share a lemon twist hop or a lemon twist leap, or you can have a lemon twist parade down the sidewalk of your street.
Lemon Twist from Chemtoy.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Lemon Twist. It was a toy from Chemtoys. I think that's the name of the company. I remember this commercial very well. I used to watch it during the afternoons on TV when I came home from school. Probably Channel 9, Channel 32, maybe 44, maybe not. And I remember seeing kids in my old neighborhood playing with this. I never owned one, never. But I did try it. I asked a kid, can I try this? First, he reluctantly, being a wise guy, he said, sure, go ahead. And I did that. And I played around with it. And I didn't do very well. The lemon kept hitting my leg all the time. You got to practice on this. You know, I'm not a very good jumper. So once I played for a little while, and I asked him, can I borrow it for a little while? You know, I'll bring it back tomorrow. He said, okay. Thank God he trusted me. Trusted me back then. So I did, and I practiced just in the backyard. I wouldn't do it inside. There was no room in the basement. So I did this in the backyard. People passed by and laughing at me, driving by or honking the horn. Pete, nice going, you know, like that. So, you know, but I never had any intention of buying one for myself. I just want to try it. You know, I remember one time a kid had a pogo stick, and I tried a pogo stick. I don't think sell them anymore. And I tried that, and it was fun. You know, it was steel, you know, very steel like that. So whenever there's a new toy that's out, you know, and I see a kid have it, I like to try it, you know, and I ask them, you know, or I buy it myself, you know. Don't want to be a guinea pig for that. So, is it still around? I don't know. Maybe, unless you buy it on eBay, you know, that's used or not opened, you know, in the original package. As for how long it was on the market, probably not very long. Not very long. As a matter of fact, I saw this on Channel 9, the morning news. Robin Baumgarten talked about this. I think she had it as a kid, and she demonstrated on the news. Oh, it was funny. She did pretty good, you know, but a little clumsy, but she was fine. But she talked about the lemon twist, and then I probably was the only one who remembered it. That's funny like that. Okay. All right. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the disco restaurant Zanadu that was located on the north side of Chicago. Also, I'll talk about the Works Bar that was in Burger Chef restaurants practically all over the country. First, give you a quick health update. Tomorrow morning, I will go to my urologist, and I haven't been there in 6 months. So I'm going to see what he says. He's going to do some kind of a test to see if my bladder is fine. Usually, every time I go there, I end up going to the hospital because the scar tissue around my prostate needs stretching. He says it's very common like that. So if he does send me to the hospital, I have to explain, look, I have an award to pick up on the 20th. Either do it before or after. I don't want to miss this thing, because it's an outpatient thing. So it's not an emergency. So we can schedule it after that. We'll see what he says. I'm looking forward to him. And tomorrow's going to snow. So I'll probably go early in the morning. Not early in the morning, mid-morning. That's when the snow will start. And hopefully I'll be back home by it's over. When it's over, then it won't intensify, but it will. So we haven't had that in a long time. As for the award show, which is on February 20th, which is next Thursday, I'm looking forward to that. And one last thing, I was interviewed on WBBM radio over the phone by Terry Kesher, I think that's his name. Very nice man. He asked me some questions, and it will be available to listen in a few days. I don't know. He doesn't know exactly when. So if you happen to be in your car or you're listening to the radio or you're listening online, you'll probably hear me. Otherwise, I'm sure there'll be a link to the website, and then I'll click on I'll copy the link and send and share it to my social media accounts. And anyone can listen anytime, any place. So I just talked about me, Band of Chicagoland, and also the award show coming up. So it was a very nice interview, and I enjoyed it immensely. And he congratulated me on the award. It was very sweet, man. Thank you. All right, now let's get started to Xanadu. Now, when I was growing up, I remember hearing about this place from people. And later on, the movie came out, and that's with an X, not with a Z. That starred Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly, and the Electric Light Orchestra. So the movie bombed, but it's kind of a cult favorite now. And Olivia was beautiful in the movie, and she sang. Her songs are memorable. They used to play those all the time on the radio during high school. I never seen the movie in the theater. I saw it on video or like on TV, and it was pretty good. If you like musicals, I guess maybe it was released the wrong time or something like that. I don't know. That's how it is. Anyway, let's get back to Xanadu, the disco place. Now it's spelled with a Z. And that was located at 6259 North Broadway, 1 block south of Devon. This is according to a matchbook I found. And it was owned by Mel Markin. He was a restaurant owner. He owned other places. And let's see, I'm trying to find the dates like that. Okay, so it opened around July 23rd, 1976. And according to the Chicago Tribune, the building used to be a Volvo agency and garage, so it probably was a dealership, I would think. And according to the article, Mel Markin's son, he was about 10 at the time, asked him, "You can't build a restaurant there." But you know what? Mr. Markin did. He did build one. And then so they got it together, and they wanted to make it a contemporary look, so it's a combination of dance, dancing and restaurant, and at the time disco was booming. It was everywhere. It was played on the radio. It was, it was like, that was the hottest thing during that time. So where they got Xanadu, this is what he said. It's from Kubla Khan. He was like, he was a warrior like that. So, anyway, so Xanadu opened at that time, and there were other discos at the time, but this one was pretty, very, very popular. And it was probably packed on the weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, and they also serve appetizers, and also they had rooms that are like a lounge, quiet, so you don't want to hear music or, dance. You don't want to dance and all that. So that's kind of cool, like that. And it was very unique at its time. So, the menu consisted, they had a very healthy menu, not like, like today, you got to watch your meat intake and your, try to get vegetables and all that. And, so anyways, according to the article in the Chicago Tribune, appetizers included chopped liver, snails, which is escargot, mushroom caps, and it's called ajvar. It's spelled Ajavar. It's a spicy Serbian vegetable pate. The soups they had were cold cucumber, French onion, and sweet and sour cabbage. Okay. The other one is Oriental. They were Oriental vegetables, and they had a sunshine sandwich. I don't know what that is. Seafood jambalaya, brisket of beef, veal Oscar, and twin fillets, béarnaise sauce, like that, and banana French toast. That was on the menu. Also, they had eggs ranchero, and they had, for dessert, their famous dessert was caramel and French fried ice cream. Excuse me. One of their house drinks in Xanadu was the Xana Banana. It's one of the. It was like so the glass of where they serve it, shaped like a banana. I found a few of them. They were on eBay, but I didn't see them anymore. But I did see them floating around the internet like that. So I wish I could find a menu of this place. So there probably were more food listed like that. So let me tell you about Mel Markin. I did a podcast about him because he passed away about 2 or 3 years ago. And his father owned a deli and restaurant. It was at 71st Street in Crandon. That's in the South Shore neighborhood where I used to live. And a lot of people who lived there at the time remembered him, his father and him like that. So so when Mel Markin got out of college, he helped with his dad, and there was a restaurant on 87th Street called Seaway. So they sold that, and then I think they sold the Shoreland Deli, and they opened another restaurant in 1966, and it was called Markin's, and that was like located at 91st Street and Jeffrey Avenue. That's in the Pill Hill neighborhood. And he also had 2 other restaurants, also one in Lincoln Park West, and the other one was in Homewood. If I can get the addresses, I will tell you. Yeah, the one in Lincoln Park was at 2150 North Lincoln Park West, and there was another one in Homewood at 17914 South Halsted. And those were closed eventually. And then, then I don't know. Then he opened another one called Dixie Q. That was somewhere in the north side of Fullerton, and I'm sure he hit another one. I'm not exactly sure. And then he probably retired. So he was a very unique man and great business sense. So that's pretty cool. It really is, what he did. And so Xanadu was very memorable for, the trend that was disco music and people hang out. And then it probably was packed in the weekends like that. Probably had to get a reservation. But once it opened, it was phenomenal like that. Okay. So right now I'm going to play a commercial for Burger Chef. That's with the Works Bar. And after the commercial, I will explain what that meant. Okay. And let's see. So that's so the Works Bar is like a salad bar in a way, like Fuddruckers used to have. Okay. So right now I'm going to play the commercial for Burger Chef Works Bar and Salad Bar. And when I come back, I'll explain what I meant or mean. I'm getting confused. Okay, so sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Thank you.
Burger Chef, you're incredibly new!
Everyone likes our new Works Bar, Jeff, where you can fix your own burger.
The way you like them!
And we still serve them ready to eat.
Leaping lettuce, a new salad bar.
Order a salad and help yourself.
People sure are happy with your new Works Bar and salad bar.
There's more to like at Burger Chef.
You're incredibly better!
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Burger Chef, the Works Bar. Let me explain what that was. It was do you remember Fuddruckers? I did a episode about them. It's like when you order a hamburger, and then they had a section where, like I don't know what that's called. They had all the condiments and all the vegetables that you could put on. That's what it was exactly. And so called the Works Bar. They also had a salad bar. So you bring so you order your burger and you wait for it, and then they hand it to you, and then you go over there and put any fixings you want. Ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, lettuce, onions, tomatoes, anything your heart desires. So that's they didn't do that in the beginning. That came later on. So I'll give you a little history of Burger Chef, and then I'll explain about the Works Bar a little more detail. Not much, but a little bit. Okay. So Burger Chef opened in 1954 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then they expanded it to all over the U.S., including Chicago, and some in Canada. And their famous signature items were Big Chef and Super Chef hamburgers. Now, chef is spelled with an H. It's based on a character they created. So you have Big Chef and Little Chef. The man that started, they were named Frank and Donald Thomas, and they patented the flame broiler. So they did that. Probably stole that from Burger King, I guess. I don't know. So they were like in competition with McDonald's, Burger King. There was Henry's Hamburgers, and all that, like that. And so General Foods purchased the chain, and then they just expanded it. Oh, there were some in outside of the United States that were also in Australia too, like that. So the mascots were Burger Chef, and that was voiced by Paul Winchell. You know him from Jerry Mahoney, like that. And he did a lot of voice acting in Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like Dick Dastardly. So, and then in 1972, they introduced the Fun Burger, and that was a hamburger that packaging that included puzzles and a small toy. And then they introduced a fun meal. Now, this is before Happy Meal. And it's a first kids meal that included a burger, fries, a drink, a cookie, and a small toy. And included stories where Burger Chef and Jeff, and friends, they would deal with people, bad guys, and it also had riddles and puzzles. And then when McDonald's introduced a Happy Meal, this is in 1979, the Burger Chef chain sued, but they lost, which is bizarre. Oh my God. I mean, McDonald's is big like that. And so they started closing restaurants in the early 80s like that. And, also there was a terrible incident that happened. They had the Burger Chef murders that happened in outside of Indianapolis. That happened in November 1978. And there were 4 employees, and they were killed by an attempted robber. And they never, I don't know if they found the guy did that. So I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't go any more any further to explain. So my memories of Burger Chef was watching those commercials during Channel 9, mostly Channel 32. The funny thing about this is I don't know where they were located in Chicago. I did some research, and I still can't find them. Where were they? I didn't have them in my neighborhood, like in Roseland or South Shore or in Ashburn. None. I don't know. Maybe they were out in the suburbs. Maybe. I don't know. I think there was one in Harvey or South suburbs or something like that. But I know there were a couple in Indiana, across the border. I have no idea. I don't know if they were on the north side or the west side, or in the suburbs. No, I couldn't find it. I wish I did. I wish I could find the original locations that were in the Chicagoland area. So now Burger Chef is a memory. There are websites of that place. They sell memorabilia. They showed, hamburger boxes, cups, French fry holders. You can find them on eBay or the toys they sell. But, interesting thing is when Star Wars was released in 1977, one of the sponsors was Burger Chef, and they had toys. You can find those commercials on YouTube. So that was, I think it was marketed. They were marketed for the first time for Burger Chef. I believe they were. I don't know for sure. So that's kind of cool. But today, most people remembered Burger Chef. I never went to one, but I wish I did, because I'm a fast food junkie. I try to stop eating that. But if it was around, yeah, I would go visit and try it like that. Also, I'll tell you one thing. Let's see. So on the menu of Burger Chef, before I close out the show, they had Super Chef. That burger was like a quarter pounder, a real big one. It was single like that. Also, they had double burger, cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, fish sandwiches, French fries, hamburger, just a regular hamburger, small one. And they had Big Chef. So Big Chef was probably in between a regular hamburger, and then you have Big Chef and then Super Chef. Also served milkshakes, Coke, Coca-Cola, orange, root beer, coffee. For desserts, they had apple turnovers and lemonade. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's good. Okay, so if you're interested, walking down memory lane and see some Burger Chef commercials on YouTube, please do. There's a lot of them. And I was watching them the other day, and it took me back to my childhood, and it was wonderful to see that. And so if you're in the mood, help yourself. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the Zanadu Disco Restaurant that was located on the north side of Chicago, owned by Mel Markin. Also, I talked about the Burger Chef Works Bar, also a little history of that place. So this podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, I believe, Overcast, Breaker. If you have those apps on your phone or your tablet, tap on them and tap follow, and you'll receive a notification of the latest episodes. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Also, be shared on my blog, www.vanchicagoland.blog. Then we'll have links of the episodes. It'll take you right to Spotify, and you can listen to them wherever on your phone. You can listen to your car. If you have CarPlay, I think you can listen to my podcast. I think you can. I'm having trouble with mine. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out. Also, it'd be on my YouTube channel. Again and again, people ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Type in the search engine, Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, or type in my name, Pete Costanis, and tap subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You can listen to the latest episode. You will receive a notification, and you can listen to previous episodes anytime, any place, wherever you want, or if you're in the mood. Also, be sure to have my social media accounts: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. So you can copy the links. It'll take you right there, and you can listen whenever you have time. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories. Thank you for joining me. Today is not bad. Tomorrow is a different story, weather-wise. So just everyone, please be careful, drive carefully, and stay warm. Okay. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's a little traveling music featuring our favorite person in the whole wide world, Ray Rayner, saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.